Hi. Hi. Hey, everybody. I always like to start with a little humor, right? Actually, it says 2:05 on this computer, so I'm late. The Burr months have finally arrived. Happy September. I hope it gets Burr. How was your first day of school? Like touching your eyes after washing your hands with jalapeno pepper. Not very good. Labor Day is almost here. That means school will be starting. It also means campaign season will be starting. Buzzkill. The return of the copycat. If it's okay to copy from the internet, it must be okay to copy from my friend's test, right? A customer on the internet criticized our technology, just like these residents do. Twitter his blog and Flickr his Google until he netscapes an apology. Until we can afford newer technology for the office, just put the letter I in front of everything. I blinds, I pen, I notepad, I shredder, I stapler, I tape, I pencil, and I folder. Someday we old folks will use cursive writing as a secret code. A lot of these were submitted by residents, folks. Okay? The old folks' jokes are usually theirs. For better digestion, I drink beer. In the case of appetite loss, I drink white wine. In the case of low blood pressure, I drink red wine. In the case of high blood pressure, I drink scotch. And when I have a cold, I drink schnapps. When do you drink water? I've never been that sick. Good advice. When I was a kid, I wanted to be older. This shit is not what I expected. If things get better with age, then I must be getting close to freaking magnificent. At the age of 65, my grandma started walking 5 miles a day. She's 92 now. We have no idea where she is. I reached that age where my brain goes from, you probably shouldn't say that, to, what the hell? Let's see what happens. Kind of there, too. My parents had a TV like this. I remember because I was the remote. There was only 3 channels, right? If you were lucky, maybe 4. I hate it when I see an old person and then realize that we went to high school together. That's happened to me. All right. Everybody knows our mission. Enriching lives through inspired experiences. That could be walking the stairs for those of you that are down an elevator. Question and answers. Any progress on our solar panels? Yes, the Windsor is producing power and at a higher rate than we originally estimated. The Carlisle and Preston are still pending but are making progress. The Carlisle is missing a power control module. That should be here around October the 5th. Once it arrives, they'll install it. They'll have to do a power shutdown to install it. The Preston I talked about previously, we're working through a different design that has to be approved by Austin Energy. Once it's approved, we'll move forward with that project, which involves a digital circuit breaker. And then of course we'll have to order the digital circuit breaker, and it's not in stock. We'll have to get it from China, and then they'll ship it to us, and it'll probably get here in 2027. Are there any plans for offering composting to residents? Not at this time. We will explore in the future as we are able. Aren't we having enough trouble with the to-go boxes? We don't want to push too hard too fast. Okay. When will channel 1890 be functional? Who cares? By applause. Oh, this one. Ruth, how upset are you at me? Because we're working on it. Spectrum is working on it. We believe that they did an update on the software programming on your boxes, your DTA boxes. And when they did the programming upgrade or update, they broke it. They broke 1890 here. And they have not come up with a solution. We're in contact with them every day. What's the update? What's the update? We have a new, better team working on it. This is the email I got today. We have a new and better team working on it. I said that my residents are so upset that you're threatening to go to the media. Right? Okay. Yeah, and we will. They're working on it. When will both Carlisle elevators be functional? 2027. The fuse needed is supposed to arrive today, and the elevator should be repaired today or tomorrow. We are exploring a different company to provide service to elevators. We've been doing business with this elevator company for 40 years, and they've always been responsive before. Most of our elevators are TKE elevators, or our Otis elevator out here that goes to Harrisville Hall. These are Schindler elevators. I call them Swindler now because I don't want to. And they've not been good elevators. The company, so they just started the maintenance contract about a month ago for managing these elevators, and so it's been difficult for them to get parts. They replaced the control board that was damaged during a power surge, but then came across a fuse that was blown as well. And this fuse is apparently a unique size to these elevators and particular amperage, and so it has to be replaced. They're not readily available. They ordered it, they had it overnighted, allegedly, and it's been 3 days and it's supposed to arrive today. Is that what overnighted means now? 3 days? Yeah, 2027. No, we should have it fixed today or tomorrow. Will checking for valid driver's licenses for people parking in the garage actually free up some spaces? How many, so I'm not sure what the answer is to that, but how many of you are parking in the garage that don't have a valid driver's license? Raise your hand. Nobody's willing to do it? So we will have to do a search, right? We'll do an audit. We believe so. We believe there's probably some people here that shouldn't be driving. How many of you shouldn't be driving? Thank you for admitting it. So we will look at this. We're gonna require, during our medical update we do every year, we're gonna ask for a valid driver's license be submitted at that time so we can keep track of this going forward. We also are offering an incentive for you to get rid of your car and relinquish your parking space, and that's $1,000. I've had a couple people take advantage of that already. I hear there's some questions about when you get the $1,000. When you relinquish the space, meaning you give it up, we will issue a $1,000 credit on your next monthly service fee statement. Okay? Easy? Okay. How many of you are going to give up your car tomorrow? Okay. Why can we easily hand wave to get in the tower gym but have to use a fob to get into the library? Initially, we were securing the library because books used to walk off. That was years and years ago. And so we put a key fob reader on it and we wanted to limit the use. Occasionally we have guests here, grandchildren running about, and we didn't want them getting into the library and taking a book or something without permission. It's difficult to carry out the fitness equipment because it's pretty heavy and it's hard to move. So we didn't think that was a worry. But would you like to have just a simple hand wave on the library? How many, by applause, how many agree with that being a good idea? Just a hand wave on the library? How many people want it to be secured? By applause. So secured it is. And that's kind of why. Question, Westminster is a continuing care life plan community, and we all paid an entry fee to be able to access the levels of care as we age and become less independent. Yes. Any resident in independent living still maintaining a car who depends on a private caregiver is giving a fob so that the private caregiver can park in the Carlisle garage. Yet a resident couple in independent living, both driving their own cars to volunteer activities, visiting friends, going shopping, etc., will now have to pay an extra fee to have both cars. How is this equitable? Most CCRCs charge for a second vehicle. We'll be asking all residents to surrender their assigned parking spaces if they no longer are driving. Residents will not be able to reserve their spaces for caregivers going forward, but we do allow visitor parking in the G2 and G3 level of the garage on the Carlisle. So private sitters and associates park in those levels, but we do not want to assign permanent parking spaces to private sitters, and we will not. I believe after shopping all of our competitors and having the same amenity with parking and charging for the second vehicle, I think we're being fair. We are not charging for the first vehicle, and many places do that as well. So I think we're being equitable. The AARP, What is Old, the video shown to us and to all the associates, shows the oldest person at 77. Isn't our average age here about 85? The average age at move-in is 79. Average age of residents is 84. Though we have many residents moving in that are younger than 79. Would you like to make your own video? I'm fine with that. What I was trying to show in the video, and what I'm trying to show associates, the reason I showed it to you all is because I want our associates to understand that senior living is not a place to end up, and that you are living abundant lives and you're experiencing new things and you're learning and you're evolving and you're enjoying life. And I don't want them to think of Westminster as a nursing home where folks have ended up. That's not what you are. And there's a negative connotation in many places about senior living, that it is exactly that. And so I'm trying to challenge that status quo, right? We are trailblazers here. The activities that you're doing is incredible. The things that you do every day, many of you still working, are incredible. And I want our associates to see that and to feel that and feel like they're a part of something special here at Westminster. How many of you believe that you are a part of something special here at Westminster? All right, I think every hand is raised. So that's the point of that video. I wasn't trying to offend anybody, but if you're interested in creating a video for 80 and 90-year-olds, let's do it. I'm all for it. We can do it. Anyway, the Preston A-Wing stairwell is still dirty. This has been going on for months, right? Not nice for visitors to see. My son continues to ask about it, or residents to see, or especially associates. This was brought up in both the July and August chats, and I said we would address the issue. When will it be addressed? So they swept and mopped the stairwell, which halfway cleaned it. The area needs to be steam cleaned, and it also needs to be painted. We're getting bids on having that work done and hope to accomplish it soon. Question, a $100 month fee for a second car. How does this make sense for me to try to encourage my friends to move into independent living here? If they're coming for the parking, they probably don't want to live here. The parking is not the product. The product is life care. The product is Westminster, the community. There are many reasons to move to Westminster over other senior living communities. Most all of our competitors, again, charge for second vehicles. Some charge for first. The reason you want to move to Westminster is that we have a track record of quality and that we continue to be one of the strongest and best communities in the country. And if you need my help to explain that, I'd be more than happy to. In every measurable way, in every metric that senior living communities are measured by, we are at the very top. Yes. Parking is tight, but that's because visitors are wanting to come see you, right? And we have a lot going on here, so parking is tight. But we're continuing to work on it. And we do, Mr. Woodrick and a couple of our residents have really looked at our parking, we've analyzed it. I have a parking consultant coming in. I have explored valet services during the period of construction, which we'll likely employ. But all of these steps, all of these rules, all of these changes to our parking policies and procedures and protocols is to create a better parking situation. I know that you want parking, visitors want parking near the apartments and homes that they're visiting, and we are working diligently to address that, okay? And we'll continue to do so. But again, the parking is not a reason to come visit or come live here. Question, you eliminated about 10 parking spots or spaces in the Carlisle by changing them to storage space. Can't you find another place to store your stuff and free up those spaces for visitor parking? You feel the tone in that question? This was done to store boilers and copper pipes prior to the install on the Preston. These will be removed after the completion of the Preston boiler project and the Preston HVAC plumbing replacement project on C Wing, and will be returned to parking spaces. So if you go down to the bottom level of the Carlisle parking garage, we built some storage spaces. How many of you have heard about people stealing copper? Everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the Preston plumbing replacement project is what kind of pipe? Copper pipe, right? And you're getting a lot of money for copper right now on the black market. People are stealing it. They're ripping it out of people's cars. They're ripping it out of air conditioning systems. And so we wanted to secure the plumbing copper pipes for the replacement project in the Preston. So we built the storage areas and locked them in that parking garage. We also put cameras down there. And then we had about $300,000 worth of boilers for the Preston that we needed to put someplace, and we certainly didn't want to put them outside, so we put them in those storage areas. And so once the projects are complete, which should be by the end of this year, then we'll remove two of those storage areas and they'll become parking again. But that's really what that was for. So yes, those will be returned, and it is about 10 spaces. Question, it will be great to have a larger library soon. In the meantime, can we get rid of the space wasting couch in there and replace it with back-to-back 3 to 4 foot high shelf units? We will ask those in charge of the library if they wish these to be removed, and if they do, we will address. We also want our spaces to be welcoming and attractive as well as functional. Please reinstall a step ladder at the southeast corner of the pool across from the spa hot tub. A tiered step ladder would be very preferable. Residents going to from the spa hot tub to the pool now have to walk around the pool to use the ramp. The ladder taken out was not tiered and therefore difficult to use. A tiered step ladder will be fine for that area as the ramp has partitioned the area. We'll look into it and see if it's allowed by code. But yes, we should have a replacement ladder there for sure. I think it was taken out because it was damaged and they haven't received a replacement yet. Could we have a Purell wall dispenser outside of exit central stair on Preston 2? Yes, we will address this. Question, our windows are dirty with spray from the workers who were cleaning the black streaks off the building. When will they be cleaned? We hope to have this scheduled soon. We've reached out to window washers to give us a bid. Question, if your car parked in the garage has a dead battery, will plant operations maintenance personnel provide a jump start, or do you have to call a service station? Security will help with this when possible. They have a jump start device and an air compressor in their security vehicle. Last month you said that there would be 12 to 13 guest apartments once the expansion is finished. Does this count include the guest apartments on the 3rd floor of Windsor? Does this count include purchased apartments that are not in-house but are offered as guest apartments? On a monthly basis, what is our average guest occupancy? So the answer is yes. 4 apartments on the 3rd floor of Windsor are used for guest apartments currently. Yes, they are included in the count. Yes, we do have some not in-house apartments being used for this purpose as well. We currently have 9 guest apartments, 5 in the Preston, 4 in the Windsor, and we usually have about 75% occupancy in guest apartments. And that, of course, increases around the holidays and events. There are times that we are completely booked of guest apartments. How many people have experienced that? You would want to use a guest apartment, but they're all booked? A few times? Yeah, okay. Question, several direction signs on the 4th and 5th floor of Windsor don't include apartments 4029 through 4032, but those apartments are occupied. There are also taped up paper signs pointing to the Carlisle, which has been up and occupied for more than a year now. Can the signage please be updated? They should be working on signs today. As I'm presenting this chat, the correction signage package is being installed and repairs made to damaged signs. Both the signage contractor and the consultant are on site today, and I hope to have the project completed and behind us. It has been miserable.
Is that in all buildings or?
It's all buildings. All buildings. Question, the game room still has stained carpet and the floor mat doesn't always cover up the stain. Can it be cleaned? We will address this. I think they've tried to clean it. Apparently you spilled a whole lot of coffee in that carpet. So, yeah. They tried to pour me a cup and I wouldn't drink it. All right, flu clinic. How many of you got your COVID vaccine booster? Wow, I feel safe in this room. Flu vaccinations given by the Wellness Clinic nurse practitioners. Sign-up sheets are located at Westminster Wellness Clinic. Flyers will go out to every resident's box. Hopefully you know that these are coming soon. And I deleted the page that had the dates on it, but they're next week, I believe, right? Yeah. Preston HVAC plumbing replacement project. How many people in this room, by a show of hands, live in the C wing of Preston? Okay. That project is going to start in October. The first part of the project will be building plumbing mains vertically in the building through chases that already exist from the ground floor all the way up. I think I mentioned previously that we found a solution as opposed to going in between residents' apartments. We're going to build a new main plumbing system in the corridor. So the corridor ceiling grid will come down probably at the end of October, and it'll probably be down for about 6 weeks while we build this new plumbing system for the Preston. And then at probably mid-November, we'll do a shutdown and we'll drain the air conditioning and heating system for the Preston Building C wing, and then we will make connections to the main plumbing lines from the corridor into your fan coil units that are all sitting as you walk into your apartment. Typically, they're sitting in the fur down that's in your kitchen or in your bathroom. And so there's an area where we have ceiling grid much like this, and we'll pop those ceiling tiles out and do the connection into your fan coil unit. It'll take about an hour and a half, 2 hours per apartment to make that connection, and then we'll fill the system back up and we'll be able to operate the air conditioning and heating system. Now, we will do this shutdown when there's some cool days, right? We'll wait for days that are ideally below 70 degrees for the high, and you'll have you'll have your fan coil unit heat, your heat strip heat will still be available, so you'll be able to get heat that way. The air conditioning will not work without the water being in the lines, okay? I'm gonna show you this is C-Wing, okay? If you're on the ground level of C-Wing, these are the apartments that are gonna be affected. These are the C-Wing apartments on the first and second floors that will be affected by this project. and the 3rd and 4th floors. I'll set up another meeting probably next week to talk through this some more and really describe in detail and answer any questions that the C-Wing residents have. I'll probably be able to do some questions today as well. So in most of the apartments in C-Wing, it's kind of the original parts of the Preston building, and they built vertical chases in between the apartments, usually in between the kitchens and the bathrooms. And so at first, we thought we were gonna have to rip down kitchen cabinets and tear up kitchens and bathrooms to make these connections, but we decided to abandon those pipes in place and to build this new horizontal piping configuration so that we don't have to tear up your kitchens and your bathrooms and move you to other spaces. So this is gonna be much better for everybody. This is a picture of the fur down that's in a lot of your apartments. Every apartment has them in the Preston building. And you can see the ceiling grid there, and what we would do is pop those tiles up, and then we bring the plumbing, the copper pipe comes from the corridor in through the wall above your ceiling, and then it connects to the fan coil unit that sits in this fur down, and that's where your air conditioning and heating comes from, okay? This is an example of a closet that has the fan coil unit, so that where this vent is, that's actually a fan coil unit that sits behind it and blows the cool air into the apartment. Okay. Just a reminder, star cards are available at any reception desk. You can fill those out when folks do an extraordinary job. We talked about most of these awards. We did receive a Gold Associate Safety Award from Life Care Services, which really means that we've had very little lost days, none for our associates, injuries-wise. It's great to get that award for our associates. And then we talked about resident satisfaction last time. Everybody knows what these takeout containers are?
Yep.
Are they thrown away?
No.
Oh, good. What are you supposed to do with them? Return them? Rinse them out and return them. Thank you. I think that's working much better. I don't think we're running out of them like we were before, so that's good. I appreciate you all helping with that. And that's all I have. Ruth, will you grab a microphone? And I will say that October the 14th is our resident association meeting, and I'll have renderings and blown up plans for the phase 4, our final phase of expansion that we'll talk through. Members of the board will be here, members of the development team will be here, and leadership will be here, and we'll have easels set up and be able to talk through the different spaces that we're constructing in phase 4 and what that will mean. I have started conversations with residents that will be temporarily displaced. There's 4 apartments on the Windsor first floor between the bistro and the marketing elevator that will be doing construction above those apartments. We'll be paying for those residents to move into new apartments that will locate on the 3rd floor of the Windsor building. Those are what those assisted living apartments were meant for. We're combining those to make accommodation for these residents. They're gonna have all of their meals paid for during the period of construction while they're displaced. All of their laundry services will be paid for, and we will give them a concession for each month they're out of their apartment. When they move back to their apartment, or before they move back to their apartment, they'll be offered a selections process, much like you did when you moved in. They'll have the opportunity to pick new standards, new selections, new paint, carpet, countertops, all of that stuff, just like you did when you first moved in, or we will take the apartment back to its original condition. You know, in this plan that there's some A-wing residents on the first floor that will be displaced. Those apartments are going away. Half of those apartments have been vacated already. As they've been vacated, we have removed them from inventory, so we don't sell them again. The majority of the residents that are in that location are needing another level of care, so we will help them and support them as they move to other levels of care. There is one resident that is going to be displaced, and we're building an apartment for her. It's very similar, actually the same floor plan as what she currently has. I think that's it for now. Questions?
And just a word on the reusable containers, we like them a lot. We occasionally get one that looks like it's been put in the lower shelf of a dishwasher and is a little warped. I'm guessing they do not take bottom shelf dishwasher.
Yeah, I don't know. We're supposed to be able to wash them. We wash our dishes commercially at 180 degrees, and they take that, but please don't run them in your dishwashers. Just rinse them out and bring them back to us, okay? Don't try the heat setting on the bottom of your dishwasher. It might melt them. I'm not sure. That's first. And we should throw those away. If they're warped, we will throw them away.
Judy Sargent. I question our spectrum. I have had spectrum for a number of years in my home, and I have trouble with Wi-Fi. But here, I have constant trouble with the cable. I can't get the proper guide on there. It doesn't have all the channels. If I want to watch NBC, I get on guide, and then I have to go to search and put in NBC to get that channel. Or if I want.
So it's not appearing on the guide
No,
itself?
ESPN, it's a very.
Do you have our Spectrum package, or do you
Yes.
have your own?
I have yours.
Okay, I will check into that. That's the first I'm hearing. Is anybody else having that problem? That some of the channels are not showing up on your guide? No? Okay, we might just need to reboot your DTA boxes so it picks up the additional channels. And I'll have IT do that, okay?
Yes. I have a question on the
Oh, Mike.
televisions.
There you go.
I have a question on the televisions.
Okay.
Of course, I have not had 1890, but I have no television. None.
Okay,
I tried it as late as this morning, and
What
I have
apartment
not
number?
had television for about 4 or 5 days.
can you tell me what apartment number you are, and I'll have them stop?
305.
Okay. Is anybody else not having TV? Okay, give me your apartment numbers. I got 305, 218, 211, and 309? Okay.
125?
125? So no TV at all?
No.
Your channels are not working at all? Okay.
No.
Not just 1890, we know 1890 is broken for everybody. Okay. 204.
323.
323.
Have you all submitted work orders? Did you all submit work orders?
No, yours went
How many of you submitted work orders that hasn't been fixed? Okay.
536.
536? And it's been 4 or 5 days?
Yes.
Theirs went out last night.
Okay. So they had a major spectrum failure on the TV signal, I believe, yesterday and the day before. And so but it should be repaired today. So those of you that are not having it we need to come by and we'll reboot your DTA box, that little box that's on your TV. We'll reboot those and they should pick up the channels, except for 1890.
Chuck, I'm in 351 and I was told to unplug my TV and plug it back in. I did not have any channels either, and that worked.
Okay. Thank you. It's difficult for some of these residents to unplug it though and plug it back in. I'll text Danny all of those numbers so we can get them resolved.
Same thing happened to us yesterday morning, and all I did was unplug the power from the cable box.
Right,
Not
so it
TV.
rebooted, right.
Give it about a minute and plug it back in, and it rebooted from scratch. And when it went out yesterday afternoon, we didn't have any problem.
Okay, appreciate that. Good advice. But we'll come by and do it for you if you need us to, okay?
Questions?
It would be interesting to hear a presentation sometime on the care and entry care and handling of work orders.
Yes. Yeah, that would be very.
So how are work orders handled and the way that they're resolved? Yeah. I'll do that. We're working on that right now, as a matter of fact. Typically, reception inputs them, right? When you put in a work order, and then they are assigned to a maintenance tech. Abel, the plant operations director, has taken over the work order system because we were having problems with it. It was assigned to someone else, and some work orders were not being handled timely.
Who is that, Chuck?
I'm sorry?
Who is that? That's,
Abel?
Oh.
Abel's the plant operations director. He's handling them now. But it was assigned to somebody else that is no longer with us. And they were not handling them well.
It would be good if we could sign up on the internet with our work orders.
I think that's something that we're working on. They're working on that resident portal integration with the TEL system, and also an improvement of the full count system and its integration. And that was an idea that was floated from the IT committee. My understanding is that that'll be completed by the end of the year. So you should be able to do that.
Because that would save a lot of the stress for the
I agree.
receptionists.
I agree, yeah.
I just turned in a work order this morning, and I gave them my email address, and within an hour or so, I got an email that said who it was assigned to. So when you turn in your work order, just be sure to give your email address, and I'll enter that in the computer, and you'll get an email.
And then you can track the work order progress through your email. Yeah, the system will send you emails automatically. It's a new function that just started. All right. Oh, sorry, right here, Ruth. Open there.
Different subject. I think there's too much salt, way too much salt in the food.
Well, apparently you're not the only one. How many people think that same thing, that there's too much salt in the food? Yeah. So, we received the results of the food committee survey, and that was something that was pointed out in that survey. So we're making steps to adjust all of our recipes, including getting low sodium bases for all of our gravies and soups and sauces. So I think you'll see some significant improvements over the next few months in that area.
I have a request to think about over the next couple of months. I think I understand that the place across the street is gonna open in January. They are building a beautiful outdoor pool. I would love to have access to their beautiful outdoor pool. I'm just wondering if Westminster might be able to negotiate some kind of deal. so
Why don't
that-
you just become friends with one of the residents? And then you become friends with them, and then you can bring us all along. And we can enjoy the outdoor pool.
Someone has suggested
Or we could
that.
just take the
I will do
roof
that
off
if I
of
have to.
We could just take the roof off of ours.
Okay,
I hear you.
We need to
Oh, yeah.
make some kind, we offer, I'm sure.
I'm not gonna become
tons
friends with
more
them, though.
amenities.
Not gonna happen. I will treat them with courteous respect because I try to treat everyone with courteous respect, but I will not become friends.
Okay.
that's right.
Cause I have a little heartburn over that whole situation still.
I understand.
Okay,
With good reason.
with good reason, that's right, thank you. Now, the liquor store, on the other hand, no, I'm just kidding. Pass the baton, there you go. I bet you become friends real easy with those folks.
I mistakenly, it's all my fault, left my floppy sort of small backpack in the bistro about 2 weeks ago. And it has never shown up. And so I don't think there's a lot of thieves running around in Westminster, so I just wondered if somebody mistakenly picked it up. I've taken care of all the things in it, so that, credit cards and that. Oh, okay. So I just wonder if.
What
there's
color was the floppy
It's
backpack?
sort of maroon and white, and it's.
Sounds like Texas A&M colors. Nobody would have taken that. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding.
It's cheap, it's
Yeah.
not worth anything, but it matters to me.
Did
So
anybody see that maroon and white backpack?
It looks homemade, which it was.
Oh,
Anyway, just thank you. If anybody sees it or finds it, I'd appreciate having it back.
then you checked with reception?
I've checked with Bridget, she's been on the look for it
Okay.
I've been in touch with everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they do have a lost and found, but
Yeah, I've been to all those places, and we have people working on it, but thanks for listening.
Talking about an outdoor pool, have you considered an outdoor pool for Westminster?
we've considered it. I'm not sure where to put it without sacrificing parking spaces. And that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, I don't think we have a location that we could do that now. We could, at some point, do something with the pool we have. Not sure what that looks like, but open it up more, or maybe create a windows or something that open up and get some fresh air in the space, and maybe skylights or something. But right now, there's not a plan for an outdoor pool. There's lots of other amenities coming, but an outdoor pool is not one of them. Would you all use the pool more if it was outdoors
Yes.
Yeah.
and warmer? It's 86 degrees.
No, it's been 84.
84? Somebody's lying to me then. 92? That's kind of like cooking a crab, isn't it? That's not refreshing. You can't do laps at 92, but I like it. Yes, ma'am, all the way back in the back.
Yes, sir. The last 2 days, I have tried to go into the entrance from the guest parking to the parking in the car, Windsor. My fob used to open with my fob. It won't. For the last 2 days, it has.
Is that happening to anybody else? Yes? Okay, so guest parking into the Windsor.
It also doesn't work going out the other way, because I go out in the morning with the dog, and they put in a handicap push button. And so it didn't used to, you could just open the door. Now you have to push that, and nothing happens.
I'll check into it.
My question.
So that's into the tunnel? Really? Into
Yes,
the
sir.
tunnel? Okay.
The question I had was, do we need to go to Bridget? Does my fob
Yeah, it could be your fob.
have to be approved to go into that tunnel?
It should be, it should be. Occasionally, a fob will not operate correctly because it came in close contact with a magnet and it has to be reprogrammed. That's possible. It's possible that for some reason that access expired and you're not able to use it for that reason. So yes, contact security, that's a good idea. But if it's happening for more than just you, likely there's something wrong with the reader. So that might be the problem. But if you would, yes, please contact security and try that first, okay? Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much, appreciate it.